All right, guys. So I've been reading this book. I know I'm reading like a different fucking book every day, but this is the one I'm reading today. It's called Predictably Irrational. It was actually referred to me by, Sherilyn Voss. You know her. She sent me a text and she goes, "You need to pick this up." And so I picked it up. I'm on like page 20. I literally just started. And you guys need to read this. This is it's all on relativity, but not Einstein's relativity. It's the relativity that we have in regards to when we have one or two things more to compare to when making decisions. And one of the clear examples, this is why I'm bringing it up. Remember, I'm only on page 22. Okay, I just started it this morning. One of the clear examples was page 8, which brings up real estate. And guys, as you're tuning in here, go ahead and start asking your questions. I just wanted to set the tone with this. Ask any questions that you have, and then we'll get going. But this is in regards to relativity. They brought up real estate. That's the first example this guy brings up. And he's an ex-MIT professor, current professor at Purdue or Yale, I don't remember. But I want to read this to you guys because it puts everything in perspective in regards to how we sell property, right? It's like psychological, really good. So he says this. All right, perfect. Here he goes. Relativity. He goes, easy to understand. But there's one aspect of relativity that's consistently trips us, right? It's this. We not only tend to compare things with one another, but also tend to focus on comparing things that are easily comparable and avoid comparing things that cannot be compared easily. He goes, that may be a confusing thought, so let me give you an example, and here's a real estate example. Suppose you're shopping for a house in a new town. Your real estate agent guides you to 3 houses, all of which interest you, right? Similar to us. One of them is contemporary, and 2 are colonials. All 3 cost about the same. They're equally desirable, and the only difference is that one of the colonials, the decoy, is what he calls the decoy, needs a new roof, and the owner has knocked a few $1,000s off the price to cover the additional expenses. So which one will you choose? Guys, which one will you choose?
Well, first off, Tristan, when you said relativity and real estate, I thought you meant all the relatives you worked with in real estate. You had me run at that.
No. This is comparing psychological comparison. So which one would you choose out of the 3? The contemporary one, the colonial one that doesn't need any work, or the colonial one that needs work with the roof?
I think most people, depending on walking through and how the house spoke to them, would pick the one without the work.
Long?
I just bought the book, $12 on Amazon Prime.
Well,
So
dude,
it should be here by
you are
tomorrow.
going to love this because that changes the concept of what we approach. So check this out.
Yeah.
Most people, the chances are good that most people are not going to choose the contemporary one. Okay, this is why psychologically, and you'll not choose the colonial one that needs a new roof. You'll choose the other colonial. Why? Here it is. Here's the rationale, right? Which is, he says, it's equally irrational, by the way. We like to make decisions based on comparisons. In the case of the 3 houses, we don't know much about the contemporary one. We don't have another house to compare it with. So that house goes on the sidelines, but we do know that one of the colonials is better than the other. That is, the colonial with the good roof is better than the one with the bad roof. So he goes on to explain it's the same thing when you go to a party and you bring a friend who's not as sexy as you, right? You stand out because you have a comparison to other people. So, dude, the comparisons are insane. And I'm like going, how come I didn't hear about this book earlier? This is insanity.
So you just gave the reason why I bring Long with me everywhere I go.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Guys, anyways, I wanted to start it off like that because in real estate, there's so much more going on sometimes that we don't realize. And those comparisons are really important when it comes down to what he calls relativity, right?
Interesting. People have been wanting to know the name of the book again. If we could post that in there.
Yeah, it's called predictably irrational. And apparently it's a bestseller. So that means it's been around for at least a couple of years, man. And 2008. And I just heard about it. It's so good. So good. I wish I would have read it earlier, only because now I'm going to go to my team and be like, hey guys, we're showing property the wrong way. Let's shift a little bit. Let me finish the book, right? But so let's get right into it, guys. We've got Adrian. I may be pronouncing his or her name wrong, so I apologize, Adrian, but I will bring you on here. It says, Tristan, I've asked this before, but once again, if you had a limited amount of money to spend on leads, would you do Facebook leads with AI follow-up or a search home platform like Wailopo Boomtown with follow-up? And his name is, or her name is Adrian, Baskin Ridge, New Jersey. Adrian, let's bring you on. You can ask that question live over here, my friend. I just don't know, and forgive me, I don't know if you're female or male. So here we go. I'm going to bring you on. Pass the control over to you. Adrian, the mic is over to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you, and I am a female.
I'm so sorry, Adrian.
Quite all right. Quite all right. So I have been going back and forth trying to figure out where is the best way to put money, whether it's the platforms where you search for homes and then they follow up for you, or the platform where you invest your money in Facebook leads and then you follow up with an artificial intelligence or like an agentology company where they make the phone calls. I just don't know if, searching from Google, people searching Google for homes, that's pretty much the Boomtown, Wailopo type platform as opposed to Facebook ads where people are on Facebook and then you're following up. So if you had a certain amount of money to spend on leads, would you do Facebook or would you do the Boomtown Wailopo? And then they all pretty much provide, remarketing after that as well, which I understand works much better. So what would you do? I know you really like Wailopo.
Look, it's a great question, but I'm going to chime in and I'm pretend I'm Mike. I'm going to be Mike Bernier. And Mike always says, well, Adrian, where does most of your business come from right now, or where did it come from last year? Let's take a step back because we can pivot here right now.
It's always referrals or probably Zillow.
So then what makes you want to go into Facebook lead ads or Google if those two are working? I'm just playing devil's.
Well, they're working, but not enough.
Got it. All right, I'm done being Mike. Mike, you want to be Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to be me for a second. So tell me why they're not working enough, because there's literally two different strategies. And to answer your question, every one of those things, from Zillow and all the other portals to Facebook lead ads to Google pay-per-click strategies, all of them have paid off big for one person or another. Sometimes they work really well for one person based on that person's systems versus another system. So they all work. So it really comes down to this. You have two strategies in lead generation. You can keep buying a bunch of leads because you're getting an ROI. Even if your ROI is only 2 to 1, you can buy more, you can keep that same ROI going. Or the other philosophy is to optimize your leads, where you're not buying a bunch more, you're really optimizing the ones you have and getting a higher conversion from them. Rarely.
I would say that I don't have enough from Zillow. I really need more leads.
Okay, so you need more. So I guess my question would be then, if it's not a matter of optimization, it's a matter of lead generation, are you set up for a longer term nurture? Do you have the systems in place that you can nurture a lead or a variety of leads as they keep on coming in for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months? We just closed one that's 5 years old. So do you have that system? Because what I worry about is when you transition out of transactional buyers and sellers into long-term nurture, that they get lost in the shuffle. So how is your systems on that?
I have LionDesk that I use for follow-up, but I would prefer to add either an artificial intelligence or a company doing the follow-up and then taking it from there and then, doing the long-term nurture.
So are you a solo agent, run a team?
Yes.
Solo?
Solo.
Okay. So what I would do is I would carefully, I would look at this. If you're, personally, my advice would be, if you're used to transactional buyers, bottom of funnel buyers with Zillow, If that's what you've been most successful at, but don't have enough opportunity, you could always, of course, increase your spend there, increase the territories you're covering. But if you're going to jump into a different type of lead, the next most productive and fastest would, in my opinion, be something that's going to be pay-per-click. Ylopo does that pay-per-click, and it also has the artificial intelligence attached to it. They've just got the beta out. They're going live. I don't know if you remember the date, Tristan, when they're going live with everybody on PPC. But other than that, you've got Chime. Tristan loves Chime. You've got Boomtown. That's an old fan favorite. But I would say
say that again. Chime and what else?
Commissions Inc. is a good one. Boomtown. But what I like about pay-per-click is the customer themselves is taking an action. They're taking an action rather than just being caught into a Facebook ad. They're going in and searching, actively searching, which generally means they're more mid-funnel. Go ahead, Tristan.
Mike, I agree with everything Mike said, but I have one question for you, Adrian. And that's, how big is your current database, like altogether, everything that you've got, Sphere, past clients, Zillow, everything?
Maybe 600.
Okay, 600. So guys, maybe it is a little too small. I know she's a single agent. And let me talk to Long and Mike really quick here, Adrian. This is a question that I have for them. What would you say to Adrian in regards to doing dynamic ads for real estate and kind of going in on that more with her 600 and then slowly bringing in like more Zillow? What would you say to that?
I love the slow, and that's where I was going to go with it, is thinking you can overwhelm yourself by getting just a whole lot of leads, and then just they're not optimized. You just keep on piling the database, but they're not optimized. I would go for a slower routine. And what Tristan's suggesting is if you jump into a system like Ylopo, they're going to remarket, or what generally people call retarget, the leads you already have in the database that already knows you, and try to optimize that more for you. But
I don't think I have enough really for that to really work so well.
Yeah, probably not. You probably want to increase that, but that's where personally I'm thinking that you want to increase it with pay-per-click, which is a cheaper lead source.
What I'm leaning towards too.
Okay, but what company to do that for me? Because I can't do that.
Two options. I think Ylopo, reach out to them. They just opened it up for more people.
Okay.
And also Chime. And Chime is more of a complete CRM. Let's say you didn't have a CRM. It does both the marketing side and it's the CRM. So look at both those two. Those are the only two I would look at, only because they're the only ones that are really pushing the boundaries on what agents can do with technology.
And what I love about Ylopo is it's got both the new lead generation through pay-per-click, remarketing on those leads through Facebook, and the AI text platform in all in one.
Right. That is very appealing.
It is.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
No problem. Great question.
You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Thanks for being on, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian.
Always follow you guys.
I love it. All right, guys. That was a really good question, by the way. That's why it took a long time to answer on that one. So we do have an anonymous one, so I just want to go ahead and answer it, guys, unless you want to jump in on this one. Can you talk about adding stickers to Instagram photos or videos? And so I'm not sure about the direction of where this person is going with that, but yeah, adding the stickers and anything else really to pictures or video on Instagram is fairly easy. When you're uploading them or when you're doing stories, it gives you the option to do it. And let me see if I can just show you really quick. I'm just going to share my phone with you guys so we can take a look at Instagram. That's what I love about Zoom, guys. I could just throw it on here and be like, hey, let me just show you. So let me know if you guys can see my phone in a few seconds. Can you see it?
Got it. Yep, we got it.
All right, perfect. You see Instagram there? Right underneath Instagram is hashtags. Just wanted to bring that up. Hashtags is really important for hashtagging. So Instagram, here we go. There's Marisol Franco. Oh, look, our favorite person. So I love it. So here I'm going to go swipe over. You see, I'm going to swipe over to the right, swiping over. Good. That's me. I can take a picture of myself, kind of look funny there. So, but you see at the very top, you see options, and you have the stickers right here at the very top. So you can add the stickers. If you add stay home, if you add thank you, if you add, they just added donations as of 2 days ago on my phone, or gift cards or anything like that. What you can do here is type as well. So let's say I'm working out, right? And I just type there and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be working out right now and I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to be like, that's the one I'm going to do. And I'm going to hashtag something here. Let's hashtag workout. Well, here we go. Workout. Gives me my choices at the bottom. I'm going to grab it. Then I'm working out. And then I'm going to go ahead and tag. I can tag a few people here. Long, do you have one? There you go. Long. Now I can tag Long, put it over here. I can even change the color, right? And I'm going to go ahead and post it to my stories, right? So now it's posted. Those are options that you have right there. And if you want to add stickers, you can always do it on that side. So I hope that answered the question there. I wasn't sure. There's Sean San Jose. What's up, Sean? I'm not sure if that was the answer you were looking for, but we had, oh, yeah, perfect. It was. Thanks, Adrian. I appreciate it. Guys, any other questions that you guys have so we can answer those and bring you on live here? There's a really long one, but it's a person that is anonymous, so we can't bring them on. Either one of you want to read this one? Take it on? It's a really long question.
Long, you want this one? You've been awfully quiet today.
Yep. I'm just reading it right now. First of all, when I'm on with these guys, my role just keep them in check, you know, because they usually know all the answers. So I don't need to chime in.
It's not true.
But if we were to find a sticker for me on working out, as Mike would always say, would be the unicorn, because I go about once every couple months. Let me see. I've done several coaching. So I think at the end of the day, coaching is overused word. You know, there's different way you can do it. You just need, if you want to get better at it, it's all about alignment. So if you're happy where you're at, stay there. If not, you know, maybe search out a few other options for yourself, because you're just trying to grow your business, and sometimes you just outgrow where you're at. But other than that, yeah, find places like this, Tristan, Mike, you know, people you know. There are a lot of different coaching companies out there. They're all good. Just find the one that best fit you, you know, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. So definitely get some coaching, and there are lots of options. Just search them all.
And I'd also say, you know, is this an anonymous question then, I think? Right?
That one was, but I have a feeling, I think they just changed their anonymity to visibility. So we'll address that right after. Go ahead.
Because I think we have to determine first, what are you trying to accomplish from coaching? Some people, you know, really need it for accountability. Other people need it for implementation strategies. Other people need it for, you know, just knowing what to do. So I think you need to know what you're looking for from coaching. And from the description you put in there, it sounds like you haven't found the right alignment, like the coach doesn't get you. They're just not the right chemistry. I can tell you this personally, I've been a coach, I've been coached. Regardless of coaching company, coaching client chemistry is probably one of the most important things you can have. It has to be the right type of chemistry to really work, I believe. So that's my advice.
You know, guys, and maybe it's because I'm reading this book, but this just came to mind, which is when I'm comparing coaching companies, right? And I look at if everything is similar as well as price, right? How am I going to decide which coaching company to use, right? And so now I'm like, wow, all of these decisions that we're making, obviously they're based on a lot of subliminal things, right? So I want you to be clear when you're making decisions on anything, specifically right now on coaching, right? Make sure that you don't buy into a hype, because I see a lot of companies hype it up, right? Make sure that you're able to talk to people that have left that coaching company and also ones that are currently in there. That would be my best thing to do, because the ones that have left will tell you the things that are missing, and that's important too. And the ones that are in there will tell you the things that are working. And sometimes it's hard to find that, but that's my 2 cents, only because now I'm rethinking the way I think, right? Predictably irrational. Steve has a good question. Steve McIlvain? Steve, I'm not sure if that's it, but I'm going to bring you on. Steve, I see you. So I'm going to allow you to talk here, shifting over the mic over to you. You should see that. How are you, Steve?
Hey, great, Tristan. How are you? How are you
Good,
guys?
man. Good. Thanks for being on, buddy. So go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. We are getting inundated with information just tremendous, like how to do virtual showings, how to do virtual, just doing everything differently. All the information that's out there. And I feel like you're going from one Zoom to another. And how are you guys taking information, processing it, and then acting on it so that each day you're getting a little bit better?
Guys, can I take this? Because this is the basis of LCA Elements.
It is. Yep, go for it.
And look, we had Michael Fadif said, if I were to sign up for coaching, I'd go with LCA Elements. Thanks, buddy. You kind of read our minds. Yes, we are coming up with something that's like that in the next 3 weeks or so, so stay tuned. But it's the basis of what we do here. So between Long and Mike and Nick, we came up with a system that we call a blueprint, Steve, and it's based on goals. See, what we believe here is that people that write down goals, that's as far as they get. So you're jumping from Zoom to Zoom, and you're writing down like, dude, I need to do this open house virtual tour thing. This is amazing. Wow, I need to do an online buyer seminar. This is amazing. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just a list, right? And so what we're teaching is this: you grab your list, but first you have to identify where your goals are and your priorities. Once you identify those goals and priorities, like what are my true goals? What are my priorities in my life to better myself as a human being, right? Health-wise, family-wise, mentally. Then what are my goals at work? And how is it, what I'm watching right now, how is that aligning with who I want to be as a real estate agent? Is this going to take me forward, and how is it going to do it? Once you identify that list through goals and priorities, then what we created is a blueprint. And I mean, I wish I had it here, I'd show it to you, but the blueprint is very simple. It takes that one goal at a time, and it breaks it down for you and says, okay, what's your goal? How specific is it? Next, why is this important to you? And then after that, it breaks it down even more and says, okay, this one thing that you really want to do, what are the 3 things you're going to do to make that happen? And here's how you shift it over into your schedule, Steve. On each of those 3 things that is going to allow you to make that goal happen, you're breaking them into actions that you're going to add into your schedule on a daily basis. Now, because you've chunked them into these small little things that you can actually work on and putting them into your schedule, you're going to slowly break away at it and actually achieve it. That's the difference, because guys, Long, Mike, everybody tells you write your goals down, write your list down, and then what happens to it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Right? So that's the essence of what the processes and systems we've created, Steve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, and Steve, I'll tell you, sometimes when you get overwhelmed, when all you're looking is this massive amount of things you have to do, and you're like, I don't even know where to start with this. But what Tristan's saying, when you start writing it down and breaking it in step by step by step, one thing I like to do too is start estimating how much time each step will take. And I'm like, this might only take me 30 minutes, the whole thing. Like, I broke it down, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there. This is like 30 minutes and I'm done. And then I checked it off the list. After my 5-minute thing is done, boom, one of those things is off. And you start seeing, you get less overwhelmed when you can get it in little bite-sized pieces.
That's true. Long, anything you want to add there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm surprised Mike can go into it. He talks a lot about information to action, right? Nowadays, it's not that hard to get information. You're with LCA Elements, LCA, you're going to get all kind of information, almost too much. What do you got to do? Put it in action. And then the last couple calls ago, we did the pick to the stick, right? Which is just an analogy of breaking them down to smaller pieces. So otherwise, you can get so overwhelmed. And also, you need to start learning how to use time versus spend time. If you only got 8 hours in the day with the balance analogy that Tristan used for work, then make good use of those 8 hours and prioritize and make sure you break them down to smaller chunks.
Guys, I found our sheet that we created for Elements. So I'm going to share it with everybody just so they can visually get an idea of what they're supposed to be doing. Let me know if you can see this, guys. All right, so we've broken it down into priorities and goals. You can see we don't outline a lot of priorities because we think that those priorities are living all the time behind the scenes. Like, for instance, Mike, he's all about health, right? So he knows for the rest of his life, he's going to work out, right? He's going to watch what he eats. That's a priority. Goals are different. Goals have a deadline, right? Like this year, I want to make whatever amount of money, right? And this year, I want to read this many books. This year, I want to learn this, right? Those are goals. They're different. As you identify what those are and how they change, you then see here the blueprint over on the right. This is what we're talking about, where you break it down. You're very specific and you're very timely about your goal or your priority. Why is this important to you? What problem are you solving? And then you see the strategy there. There's strategies. What are the 3 things you're going to do about it? And the key section is this 3 actions, because now you're breaking each of these strategies down into actionable steps that go into your schedule. And that's what starts changing your life, right? So that's what I wanted to share there with you guys that we created. But Steve, great question, man. I appreciate that.
Can I add one more thing too, really quickly on this? So,
Yeah,
you know, Steve, right now, if you have a closing coming up in 3 weeks, my guess is on your calendar, you're going to see closing and maybe a final walkthrough or whatever else you have done around that. And if somebody wanted to, you to take them to go see a house during that time, you're probably going to tell them, I have a closing. I got to do it at a different time. Right. But in your schedule, I'm doubting you're going to see a space to really implement those action items. So, what you need to do is start putting those things in like an appointment. And then, like I said, break them down to action items every single day so you know what you're going to be doing that day. And if it's going to be 10 minutes per action item or 15 minutes per action item, just start checking them off the list. You'll find that it's less overwhelming because we're not great multitaskers. You can't do 14 things at once. So break them down one thing at a time, bite sizes, check them off the list, move on, and you'll notice you'll start unburying yourself from the pile.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Decide what route you're going to take. Are you more of a paper person to write your schedule, or are you more of a digital person, right? Your phone or Google Calendar, because that's going to matter. It's going to come down to which one are you comfortable with. And as techie as I am, dude, I still write everything down. People laugh at me and they're like,
"You're right.
You have to break out your calendar." I'm like, yeah, hold on. I have to go find it in my calendar. Right?
Or are you a Post-its guy like me?
That's so good. I love that, Mike. So yeah, Steve, but thanks for being on, man. Great question. All right, good. We got him. Dude, that was a good question. Guys, we rounded it out long. Do you want to add anything, man, at the end? Those I think that was the end of our time here. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, perfect. Mike, anything you want to leave us with, buddy?
Yep, I'm just going to say, guys, keep the questions coming, keep showing up. We're seeing a lot of reoccurring themes, so we're hoping that over this time, the messages are going to keep on hitting home, and you guys will be able to implement and get some real value out of this. So catch you next time.
Yeah, guys, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.